Hey, Karita here. I'm bringing you the tap teacher in the dance studio environment, different ideas, insights, and strategies for growing your tap classes, for boosting the enthusiasm in those tap classes, and to build your confidence and your skills as a teacher. That's what this channel is all about. Today, we are talking about your tap program as a whole and how healthy is it? How healthy is your studio's tap program? Right? So I'd love for you to jump into the comments and let me know what you think are the most telling metrics that tell you or tell anyone, how healthy a tap program is. Right? Different from any of the other styles. How healthy is your tap program? What are the metrics that you think are most important that you use to evaluate how your program is doing? I'm going to give you 3 quick metrics to use in case you haven't thought of any yet. I've got a few for you. They're just 3, but there's a lot of different ways that we can look at this. But we're going to look at 3 E's, right? The first E is enrollments, right? How are the enrollments doing? Is there growing interest in your studio's tap program? How's the retention in your tap program? I love this metric because it's really super straightforward, right? The numbers are there, they're growing, they're stagnant, they're strong, they're not as strong as the other styles. Like, that's very easy to compare. I've definitely been in studios where I've come in and they say, you know what, we've lost an entire class of students, right? We lost an entire class of students. They had a teacher that was in and the teacher was okay, but the students weren't really feeling it, and an entire class of students dropped tap. Like an entire class. So when they brought me in, by the following year, not only was I able to get that class back, then I was able to add more. People were asking for tap classes after recital, even on days that I wasn't there teaching. So there was another tap teacher that was picking up more classes because of the interest that was growing in the program. Enrollments going up. Enrollments had dropped, right? They were stagnant, and then we started finding ways to build the enrollments. Right? So that's a very easy way to go, okay, the tap program is in rough shape, the tap program is in great shape. 2, excellence, right? What is the trajectory of the training inside your program, right? So as a contrasting example, if you're thinking, well, we just do the basics here, right? Then the trajectory of your program is off. Even if you have a lot of numbers, even if you have a lot of people, maybe you require tap dance, if the trajectory of your program is just the basics, then your program is going to continue to fall short in its reputation, right? And what overall it's delivering to your students over time. When I was in New York, I had so many students come to my class at Broadway Dance Center who had trained for 10 years, but their training just was ineffective, just wasn't working, and they were getting cut after cut after cut after, in audition after audition, right? So if the excellence isn't there, then it's a problem. So one thing that you can do to evaluate that is look around for conventions or tap festivals, is my real recommendation, is to go to some tap festivals and see how your students fare, right? So if your most advanced students, and you're like, yeah, these are my advanced tap students, and they go to a tap festival and they're like, here they're beginners, right? Then you can maybe look and see, okay, I think maybe the trajectory of my program is not quite as high as it could be. Or if your students don't feel confident enough to take the tap class at a convention, they want to do the hip hop, they want to do the other styles, but they look at the tap and they're like, if their confidence isn't there that they can step in there and hold their own, then want to evaluate the trajectory of your program, what's happening not just stepwise, but what's happening musically in their education. Right? Then the third thing after enrollments and excellence is a less easy thing to measure, and I guess that would be enthusiasm, right? What's the enthusiasm around your tap program? One way to assess that is to check out the energy of the students when they're walking into your class, and then the energy of the students when they're walking out of your class. What is the energy when the students are leaving their class? What's their mood? What's their emotion? Right? I had a guy go through my tap teacher training program, and he said that after he went through the training, he said, now I know I have strategies that make sure that every student leaves feeling accomplished and not defeated, right? Not frustrated, not like they spun their wheels for 45 minutes or an hour and nothing really happened, right? So that's a little bit of apathy on the way out the door. That's frustration on the way out the door, or what this guy said, is feeling deflated or feeling defeated. But if they're feeling accomplished in one way or another because they've achieved some new rhythm patterns, they've worked at a stronger tempo, they've learned, really nailed a new combo, whatever it is, that from week to week that they have strong energy coming out of your class. And what is that enthusiasm? Right? So those are 3 quick metrics that I would encourage you to use to evaluate the health of your TAP program. The enrollments, straight up numbers, the excellence of your program, what's the trajectory of your program, is your program really geared towards that level of musical complexity, rhythmic complexity, and sophistication beyond just steps, right? That your students can hold their own at convention, hold their own at TAP festivals, in those kinds of environments. And then finally, enthusiasm from week to week, right? Those 3 things I think are a really great starting point for evaluating the health of your TAP program, right? So I'd encourage you to put your glasses on, put your lab jacket on, and check out your program and really be as objective about it as you can. So before you start explaining why enrollments are down or why this is happening, just evaluate, just get some, really as objectively as you can, get some assessment going. And I think that'd be a really great place to start. And then we can start to figure out assessing why things are what they are and how things can be improved. Yes? So that's it for this week. Go into the comments and let me know, how healthy is your TAP program? Let me know. All right? See you next time.